we start the recording because we're already having like juicy conversation here for our team huddle. Because Linda, you brought up something so good, and I think you're not alone in this. Please share what you just said with us, and we'll talk it out together.
I'm getting comfortable posting every day and finding things, but when it comes to talking about oils, I love them, I use them, and I want everybody to use them, but I can't say that. I something is it's like I know people need it, but I don't know. I have a hard time not freezing up, not losing my thoughts, um, trying to share the benefits. So
I love that so much, Linda, because it's so raw and it's so real. And I want you to know that you're not alone. And we all feel that. And and know that I get stuck too. Like I've been doing this for 10 years, and there's sometimes that I'll mumble on my words or forget something or start something. And so one of my favorite techniques for that is just to name the elephant in the room. And maybe you say that on a video or on a reel of, you know what? Sometimes I'm so passionate about these oils and they've helped me, and I feel like everybody needs them and I want to educate you on it. But sometimes I'm afraid, and I'm afraid I'm going to stumble on my words or get messed up or stuck on something. And I'm doing my best to show up consistently, but I get scared too. Like, I think there's something really vulnerable about that. And maybe even telling people, hey, something that I'm really afraid to share is that I get scared sharing this. I mess up on my words, and I love the oils and they've helped me, and I feel like they can help you. And it's scary for me to show up and talk about them for whatever reason, because I could fumble on my words, because people could judge me, because strangers on the internet could, the trolls can come out. And I found there's something so beautiful in that. It was kind of like when I started Diamond Club. Do you remember, Linda? And I was like, oh gosh, I'm having total PTSD. I feel like I want to throw up. And so I just said that I'm doing something that makes me want to throw up. And here's why. It's just like, and what I've noticed, because last time I did Diamond Club, like 4 years ago, I tried to hide it. I didn't even call it Diamond Club because I was afraid that people were going to think that I was just doing it to become Diamond Drink and it was just for me. And so I said I was going on tour, and I said I was doing an education program. And you know what happened? People said, you're just doing this for you and blah, blah, blah. And like people left, and we had a global pandemic, and it was a total like crapshoot. Like it just kind of, and so this round, I just owned it. I said, I'm doing this thing called Diamond Club. It makes me want to throw up. And here's why I'm really scared. And the last time we did it during the apocalypse, and half our team walked away, but we're showing up. And like this whole community came out. So I think there's like power when we face our dragons and we face our fears and we just name it and we share with people that we're afraid, because it humanizes you. And social media is all about connection, and it makes people feel like I can sit with you. Oh, Linda gets scared sometimes. I do too. Like, and it reminds people that we don't have to be perfect to
mhm.
share oils with somebody or help. And in fact, they want a real human. Like they want to know, like, oh, Linda's a real person, or like Ingrid's a real person, and they have real feelings and they have up and down days, and life happens too. Does that help? How do you feel? I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
it it does. No, it helps. And I understand because I've wanted to say that I wanted to start, well, I have said I've started a business, but then also I've wanted to incorporate you with the Diamond Club, like I'm working to help, but I've never noted the words to say it. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm.
wanted to say, hi, this is Linda. I'm starting my business. I work with who's working for Diamond Club. We each have goals to reach. Wow. I've just thought of more things to say talking to you.
Sometimes all you need is just somebody to verbally process it. I'm a verbal processor. You can ask Kelly. I like get on WhatsApp and I just am like verbally process it and then go, oh, thank you. Like I just needed to say it out loud. And that, because as you're talking, I'm like, that sounds great. Like you're making me excited, Linda. I'm like, okay, what's she doing? Like, and I
And
think that's all it is just being real, like what you said. I'm doing doTERRA as a business. My mentor, Laura Ritchie, you can throw around Dr. Laura if you want to. Some people like that as a title, some people don't. People ask me, I'm like, you can just call me Laura, but you can do whatever you want because it brings the community. It lets people know that you're not alone. Like when they get started with you, Linda, they get me, they get Ingrid, they get Linz, they get Kelly, they get Candace. Like we have a whole team here of people. And we all have amazing resources. Like my background is a doctorate in physical therapy. Kelly specializes in women's health and hormones. Linz is getting her personal training certification and she's a certified health coach. Like we have so many resources. Ingrid, I don't know exactly what you do, but I just remember meeting you at convention and you were like a freaking goddess, like going out into the wilderness. And like, I just remember going like, oh my gosh, she's just happy. I just want to be a part of that.
So I actually work with Lindsay's husband and
Okay.
on the roofing side. That's how I connected with her. And I'm transitioning out of that roofing at the end of the year and going into full doTERRA. So this is going to be like a beautiful expansion. I've been using oils for the last 5 years. So I'm in sales on the roofing side. And I just want to know how I could start promoting this. Like, what would be the first steps to start promoting it? Because nobody knows that I use oils other than my personal circle of friends. But now I'm ready to start just promoting it and helping others because I absolutely love it and I believe in it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, Ingrid, like so excited for you. This is really amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my next question is, how do you see yourself sharing doTERRA? Do you see yourself doing like person to person or classes or in-person events? Do you see yourself wanting to share more on social media? Like what?
Yes, I want to be able to be a little bit and I'm open to everything because I do one-on-one sales too, but I want to be able to be a lot more virtual and be able to connect with the social media. It's something that is my dragon and that's something that I'm going through like because I'm very private in what I do
mm,
and I only post some things. So like I know I am really good at sales, but I know that the social media platform is going to expand it even more, reach more people.
I love that. Okay. And I love what you said, Ingrid, because like you're in the right place. Like Linda's showing up on social media. She just started showing up on social media with us in September, like consistently, like every day.
mhm.
And we have resources to help you. And I've been doing social media for, gosh, since I started doTERRA, like 10 years, and I'm still learning how to do this. And I'm just invested in a training with Jackie Richards. I really love her, and it's a 4-week training. So I'm learning more that I can help you guys with too. Um, so what she says, and it's so true, is, and I love that you said like we're just gonna slay all our dragons together. Maybe that should be our team name, like slay the dragons. Because that feeling that you're about to throw up is the feeling that you're about to make some money. Like it's the feeling that you're about to up level. It's actually a good thing. And it's normal because our brain is telling us like, uh-oh,
Mm,
you're doing this scary thing and we're trying to
safety.
keep you safe. Are you sure it's safe to like go talk on social media? And we're like, yeah, it's totally safe. So much of it and what Jackie was teaching us is a lot of us have a visibility issue in showing up, being seen. It's very vulnerable to show up and be seen, but it's also how we build trust and connection with people. And if people are going to purchase from us, they have to have that connection with us. And so she was saying that we all have a story that is within us that we need to share. That maybe you've been afraid of sharing, that you're afraid that people are going to judge you. And so one of the first things that she told us is you can, if there's anybody that's kind of like holding you back when you're thinking about showing up on social media and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified that my cousin is going to see me, or great aunt Susie, or, you know, like whoever, family or whatever. Like, give yourself permission on Instagram. If they follow you, you can just find them in your followers and then have them unfollow you. Like, you can just remove them from following you. You don't have to block them. But she was like, if you need to, do it. But essentially, like, who are these people that are holding you back mentally, and give yourself permission to release that so you can show up and be authentically you. And if that means blocking some people, and she even said she doesn't follow people in her company that are like selling the same thing because it messes with her creativity and like how she's sharing. So that's a really good thing to just start, is like a purge, like a cleanse of your social media of, is there anybody that you're following that makes you feel less than or icky, or, you know, people that are just bringing you down in the DMs or whatever, and give yourself permission to block, delete, unfollow, like any of that stuff. And the more that we can share stories, like our personal story, like as you were sharing, Ingrid, I was like, oh my gosh, like as you were saying how you've been using the oils for 5 years and it's just transformed. And I can like see it in your like eyes, your face, like you just start glowing as you're sharing your story. Like Linda's nodding her head because like she felt it too. Like I was like,
Yes.
oh, like something magical is happening right now. The more that we step into that, that's powerful. And I would start there with whatever you feel comfortable with, Ingrid. If that's, it's so funny, but if you just take a picture with an oil, like that does so much more than just like showing us the oil. If your face is in it, so I can connect you with it, and you, maybe you take a picture with your favorite oil or your favorite doTERRA product and you tell us your story. Maybe that's, hey, I'm doing this really scary thing. I've been working at this job for so long, and in the new year, I've been feeling pulled to really go all in with the oils because, and then you tell us your story. Like, what was it that was so transformational for you? What was so powerful? And you start to share your story with us. And Jackie talks about this, and I share about this too. Think about your target audience, which is usually us 5 years ago, or like us before we found doTERRA, and we speak to them. And so it's like we're speaking to one person, very specific. Like for me, I was a burned out, stressed out healthcare professional who was sick and had no boundaries and was a people pleaser and was struggling. So that's who I speak to. But the more that we can speak to that person of, I see you. If you're struggling right now and you are feeling so overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, I was you. I get it. And we're kind of like the guiding light for them of, this was a tool that helped me. This is the thing that I did. And so it may start with just a picture, and then maybe it starts showing up consistently in stories where we're talking to people every day. But the more that we can build that consistency muscle, and I look at it like weightlifting. Like if we want to get really strong, we got to do the reps. And the first day that we go into the gym, we have no clue what the heck we're doing. And we don't even know where the equipment is. And we feel like a fish out of water, and we're very uncomfortable. But we show up and, you know, maybe we're not even doing it correctly, but we did something, and that's a win. And if we want to keep seeing gains, we've got to keep being consistent. Social media, it really is a consistency game. Is this helping? Just stop me if anybody has questions or like, or if you want to dive more
How do,
into things.
is there anything that we could use to kind of like instead of the picture for myself with the oil, anything that I could share that you guys already have already preset?
Yes and no. So I'll tell you, we have a, it's called One Drop. and we can use it collectively as a group. And it's a website where you can go to where you can get a bunch of education about the oils. Like you can type in
One drop.
cedarwood. Yeah, one drop. I'll send you the info, Ingrid. And they have all these beautiful graphics and that you can put on Instagram and all these things, which is great. But what I have found is that people will hide behind it. Like they'll hide behind putting the pretty picture and the pretty quote and they don't get to feel your heart. And so what I would prefer, and we can use that as a reference, like we could use it and go like, here's 10 tips on how to use cedarwood. But what's even more powerful than posting that graphic is you getting on your stories and saying, here's 10 tips on how I would use cedarwood, and you educate us. Or you doing an Instagram or Facebook Live telling us those 10 things. And you can just have that picture out in front of you or have notes in front of you if you need them and go through. But the more that they see your face, hear your voice, connect with you, and they're like, oh, Ingrid knows so much about the oils. Like the more that we can provide value, and not just with doTERRA. I also like to think about if someone never purchases from me ever, are they still getting value from my page? Are they still learning something that's going to help them? Like what are your innate gifts, things that you're really good at, things that you're like people contact you to help them with? Like for me, I talk a lot about weightlifting. I talk a lot about like TMS and chronic pain stuff. I'll pull in like pelvic floor stuff sometimes. It's not just the oils, but if somebody's visiting my page, are they going to learn something that's going to help them and your target audience? Like, so I really want you to think about that. Like, who is she? What are her biggest challenges in life right now? What keeps her up at night? What problems does she have? And speak to that. Like I'm trying to speak a lot to women who are in their 40s because I just turned 40. So we can do that. Does that make sense? Like we can totally, I can give you like graphics and all the stuff, but I've seen a lot of people just paste that and it's not actually creating connection. Like I feel like doTERRA really is like a heartbeat to heartbeat, soul to soul thing. That's also what makes it so challenging is you're letting people into your life. And you're talking about your successes and your struggles and hard things. But it's how people, so the more that we can kind of take people on the journey with us. Like for example, I had hysterectomy, not this past summer, but the summer before. And I shared about it. Like I was talking about like leading up to it. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm scared about. This is how I'm prepping. After this is how we're managing pain. This is how we're managing swelling, like all these things. And I just kind of shared tips. I took people on the journey and I saved them in the highlight bubbles of my Instagram. I had someone come up to me at convention and go, you helped me so much. I was so scared because I was having a hysterectomy and I went to your Instagram and I watched all your hysterectomy stories and I was so prepared. Like that helped me. So whatever it is that we're going through, I try to think about like taking people on the journey with you. Like I do that with my weightlifting. I share a couple videos when I go to the gym of like, this is us showing up in weightlifting, or, if there's a recipe that you love and you want anything that's made your life easier, any apps that you love. And Ingrid, we have a Facebook group. I will post it. It's the group that Linda was in with us, and it's called the Authentic Sharing Retreat. We did it in September, kind of all together as a group, but you can scroll back and you can see all those videos. But what I've been doing is posting for every day of Diamond Club, because I'm in a digital sales growth kind of community, and they give us like a social media idea once a day. So I've been posting that in the Authentic Sharing group, Facebook group, if you just need some ideas of like things to talk about, because the goal is connection. The goal is like, and it can be silly stuff. Like last night, Mark and I went for a walk and it got really cold and really windy. And he was in a t-shirt and shorts and was just like loving it. And I put on a hoodie and I had it like on and and I was like freezing my butt off. And so I said, like, who are you? Like, are you Mark Ritchie and you just walk around and it's cold in like shorts and a t-shirt and you're great? Or I'm feeling like I should have like worn some sweatpants and a sweater and a jacket and like a beanie. And it was so funny. And people, like this one lady was like, I live in Alaska and my husband's just like Mark. But and so that's all you want is like people to start talking to you. So you know that your social media is gaining traction when people are popping in the DMs and they're like, me too, or I had this. And like, we're just talking about walking in the cold. It's nothing like earth shattering, but um, the more that you're talking to them and you're asking them, I think that's the biggest thing is I see a lot of accounts just talking to people. And the more that we can be like, what do you think about this? Okay, this is my favorite recipe to make chicken or whatever. What's yours? Tell me yours. Putting up polls, putting up question boxes. If you need something, if you're looking for a winter coat or whatever it is, you're shopping for something, ask your audience. I need a new lipstick, jacket, whatever. Um, it's like, I think about that all the time. Like, I want to be providing them value, but we kind of want to have that like big sister vibe of like, oh, I can ask them stuff, but like, I can also share my story with them too, kind of a thing. So we have that authentic sharing Facebook group, and that would be a great place to go back and scroll. But maybe we kind of did it as like a trial run in September. Would that be helpful? Like we've kind of let it fizzle because we kind of just did it as a 30-day challenge. But what I really notice is a lot of this, it takes like 90 days of consistently showing up before you get the sale or the enrollment or the person signing up, kind of like with weightlifting. It's going to take about 90 days of showing up consistently before you're going to like feel different or notice any difference. For several weeks, you're going to be like, I'm working my butt off and I don't see anything. Like, is this doing anything? It's kind of hard. I want to quit. Like, is it worth the time? That's how social media is going to feel. What are your thoughts? What would be helpful? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I just want to say, yeah, I recommend that she go. I would, if I were her, I would start with day one and follow because it is a roadmap and it's perfect. And then just one other thing, there were days that I not necessarily wanted to throw up, but there were, I would say at least 3 days that I said, this is it, I'm done. But I made myself do it. I was scared to death. But number one, it's only there for 24 hours and then it's gone. And so that would be what I would recommend.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. And the other thing that we have, so we have that authentic sharing Facebook group. We have as well, I call it our little Holos Co. It's a little ebook. It's a little wellness advocate guide that we have created. I will share that. And in that, here, let's see if we can get really fancy here and share our screen and I can kind of give you a preview of it. Let's see here. So I will send a link out for this because this is kind of nice. And it goes through some basics, like we have a WhatsApp group. We have our team huddles here on the 1st. And actually, I need to update this. It's the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of the month. I have an updated one, but it's It's not the one that I have saved on my desktop. So we'll get that updated for you. This shows you like how to generate a link, your enrollment link that you can send people. Some of the verbiage, because we have like so many acronyms for everything. So this is kind of basics. But if you scroll down, there's some tips on like how to revamp your Instagram, things to do to kind of help with your bio, highlight bubble ideas. And then we have daily story ideas, some things that can help, like just to give you things to like talk about. If you're like, I don't know what to talk about with oils this day, these are some ideas. There's like a little video on how to make a reel, some real ideas that you can talk about. And then we talk a little bit about like compensation plan and some stuff, but there's a lot of good basic social media tips here that can be really handy. So I'll make sure that y'all have access to all of this. But if you want, we could even create like our own group for people that are wanting to grow on social media, like an accountability group, if that would be helpful. Where, you know, we could do it together because I'm doing it with you and I'm getting uncomfortable because Jackie's kind of teaching us some new things to do as well. But we can like help each other like update our Instagram bio and our Facebook bio. You know, play with reels, play with, because I want you guys to feel like I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I myself am not willing to do. So I'll get in the trenches with you. And it's a good time for us all to do it together because Diamond Club is going on right now. And we have, do you know what Diamond Club is, Ingrid?
I've heard about it, but I don't know too many details on it.
So like Cliff Note version, it's this program, it's like this intense program that doTERRA does to build your team and your business. And we have a special code. And I'll send this to you, Ingrid, so that you have it. But if people enter our Diamond Club code at checkout when they enroll, if it's 100 PV order, they get free shipping and a free balance oil. If it's 150, they get a free diffuser. And if it's 200, they get an adaptive touch. So those are all just Diamond Club perks. This month is a 200 PV promo month. So people also get the bag of fiber and the white grapefruit oil. And we had to help 12 people get a 100 PV order or more in September, which we did. We had to help 14 people in October. And this is our whole team, like anybody in our team or organization can share. And we'll need to help 14 more people in November to graduate. And so this is a good time if anybody's kind of thinking about the oils, that we have like extra freebies with that code that they can get. It's also a thing that if you have any customers or people that they haven't ordered in a year, it's got to be a year, send me their name and ID number, or they can call doTERRA to get that. And I can email my account manager and they'll remove their email from the back office so we can just re-enroll them. So they don't have to pay the $25 reactivation fee and they can get all the freebies and the goodies. So if there's been anybody that's like been a while, if it's been at least 6 months, they can reactivate their account with an email and I can show you how, and you can move them to your team. But if it's been a year, we can re-enroll them. But that's just as part of Diamond Club. So for like the next month and a half, we have this like extra thing. And it's a great time for us to start showing up because the holiday products launch November 1st. We typically, if doTERRA follows the pattern that they usually do, we'll have BOGOs in November, usually the week before Thanksgiving. Plus we have Diamond Club promos. So there's like a lot of cool things that we have going on as part of it. But what I see a lot of people doing is they only show up if there's a special. Like they're only showing up on their social if it's BOGO week or if there's a flash sale or if there's, and what I find is it's the little pieces of education It sounds so silly, but like, show yourself brushing your teeth with your doTERRA toothpaste, or like how you actually use the things every day. This is a lot. Okay, tell me how y'all are feeling. Did we just overwhelm? Maybe I did too much.
I mean, I use the products every day. I mean, I use from the lotion, from the hair, from the everything. I make my own shampoo, my own soaps. So it's just like, how can I incorporate it so I don't feel uncomfortable sharing this for me?
Ah, um, I'll tell you, in the beginning, it will feel uncomfortable until, just like anything new.
Mhm.
But it's not because we're not capable, it's just because we're learning new skills. Um, the thing that I really recommend is that everybody has a tripod, and you can just set it up, and you could record yourself using something and make it into a reel, and you can do a voiceover. Come with me, come with me as a, like for me and my reels, I'm like, come with me as a 40-year-old woman as we get ready in the morning using our favorite non-toxic stuff. Or, you could say like, come with me as we make our own shampoo. Um, whatever, like Linda, I see Linda sharing her VMG plus. Come with me as we make a yummy green drink that I actually enjoy taking that helps me get all my vitamins, minerals, and greens in without having to swallow a handful of pills. Like we're just taking people on the journey with us. And it will feel a little bit uncomfortable at
Mhm.
first. Like
Now I am like I'm not even tech savvy, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do all the reels and the voiceover. So I'm gonna check out your Instagram and your Facebook. You have all that?
yeah, yeah. And we've got some little videos. I'll send you our little ebook. That'll help. We'll get you plugged in. Are we Facebook friends, Ingrid? We
I
should
don't.
be
Oh,
if we're not, because I can add you into all the Facebook groups.
okay, cool.
Um, and because all of that stuff we can do. And even in the beginning, I know some people get really fancy with the editing and the stuff of reels. Even in the beginning, it could be like taking, I think the max a reel can be is 1.5 minutes, taking a short little video. You can even talk. You could just say, come with me as we as we make shampoo, and do like a quick thing. But I can teach you all that. I can show you how to edit reels. But in the beginning, I think it's just like showing up messy. And you can even say
Mhm.
that I'm not a super tech person, but these have changed my life, and I'm going to show up here and show you.
Mhm.
Like, come with me on the journey.
Mhm.
And I think when people see you showing up authentically and see that you're providing them with value, um, like a little tip, a little tidbit, a little something that's made your life easier, a product that you like, and that we don't just talk about doTERRA. Like, is there something else that you got recently from Amazon that you love? Um, and you just show up as you, and people start to get to know you. Like, people know I love hats, and people know that I eat Chipotle every Friday. Like, and it made me so happy because I talk about it a lot. I'm just like, and it's Friday, we get Chipotle. And this lady from the UK was on holiday in the US and went to New York, and she said, I told my husband we had to eat at a Chipotle because this girl that I follow on Instagram talks about Chipotle. And she said it was actually really good. And so it's like funny
That's
things like
awesome.
that. Like, show us your personality. What do you love? Um, what type of food do you love? What type of like, the more that they get to know you. And I'm really excited to follow you, Ingrid. Share your social with me so that Linda and I can follow you.
Yeah.
You can follow us. We can all just kind of, we're all in it together.
No, I'm glad it feels exciting. It also feels like the vulnerability too. But I know
Mhm.
that it's, walking through this through facing that dragon of the judgment of what their imperfections of if you stumble, any of that, which I'm used to even rejections because that's part of sales. But that's when
Yes.
my in roofing, it was like my job starts when they say no, to try to convince them, to try to sell myself, to try. But now this is not about convincing or anything like that. It's like just share my passion about oils.
Yes. Yeah, I love that you said that, Ingrid. That's so beautiful. Your job is to educate and show up.
Mhm.
And I always tell people that too. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'll be here. Like these oils have changed my life in so many ways. When you're ready, I'll be here. And if you're not, that's okay too. But you know, I'm here for the journey. And I even tell people that like you can watch me fall flat on my face. Like I may fail, I'll get back up. Like it's just a part of this process. But we're all taking imperfect action. And the thing is, it's like anything. When you just show up consistently, win, lose, or fail. Like yesterday, I had like just a bad workout in the gym. Like I just felt weak. I couldn't lift as much as I normally could. I'm about to start my cycle soon. So I was just like, oh, um, sometimes we show up messy and we feel like, well, that sucked, but we did it. Like we went to the gym and we like did something. Um, and the way that you get really good and you figure out what you like and what engages your audience and what they like to talk about is just by trying a bunch of different things. Some of the silliest things that I was like, really? We're talking about this? Like I've shared on Instagram and people were like for it. Some of the silliest reels that I've ever done that I just was like, oh, that got engagement. Okay. And we just like course correct and adjust. So the more that you can just kind of have fun with it, and kind of enjoy the journey a little bit and be like, this is going to be a really cool tool that I'm going to connect with my people.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited.
yeah, we're excited for you. This is so cool. Okay, well, I'll share in our WhatsApp group all the links for these things. I'll put up the updated ebook. I'll put up the Facebook group. Ingrid, post your social media. Like we can all post our socials so we can follow each other on Instagram. And let's talk about doing a social media like accountability group so we can just
Mhm.
keep the
Okay,
conversation going.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Get practice.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, we're doing it with you. I'm so glad you're both
I know.
here.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Great
you.
seeing you girls.
Yeah, great seeing you too. We'll see you all soon.
Yes. I'll post my
Bye.
stuff up. Thank you.
Yeah, please do. And I'll share it too. Okay, bye.
Bye.